I'm speaking with Jenna Greene, who is a teacher and author of the book Renew, which is book 2 of the Reborn Mark series. Thank you so much for joining us today. Now, can you start off with telling me what the series is originally about before we dive into book 2?
The book is the original book, that's first in the series, is about a 16-year-old girl named Lexel, and she's kind of prejudiced against because she has kind of freckle-like marks on her skin. And in her society, it's said that those marks mean she's a reborn. She's someone who's lived previous lives. It's not something that is a good thing in her society. They're like, well, you've lived before. Us once-borns have only lived once. You're privileged, we're not. So she's actually sold by her brother into slavery, and she's forced to work for those who are not reborns. Now, in the first book, there's a lot of questions about whether that's just a myth to enslave people, whether it's actually true that she has connection to past lives, or maybe that it's a mixture of both. And so by the time we get to the second book, some of those questions have been answered, but not all of them.
Would you be able to tell us what that readers can expect in book 2 without kind of giving anything away, of course?
Lots of action and adventure, a bit more emotion in that the first book is all fight or flight. Like we got to get to safety, and that's really the only goal. And in the second book, she has to make more active choices. So she's not necessarily in danger, but what is she willing to risk to protect others? And so there's a lot on her conscience. There's a bit of a love triangle going on. There's a lot of new characters, but also a lot of maybe the ones you fell in love with in the first book that maybe make a new appearance.
And before releasing this series, what inspired you for the plot idea to write these?
A bit of a mixture, of course. I am very freckleish, and that was definitely where that part came from. I was at a writing conference in Calgary called When Words Collide, and when you're surrounded by authors and ideas and creativity, things just start to percolate in your brain. And then when I was starting to draft this series, my mom was sick with cancer, and by the time I finished the first draft, she had passed away. So that idea of being connected to people that are gone, I didn't maybe necessarily know it as I wrote it, but I definitely knew, later on subconsciously that that was all a part of it, and definitely in the writing.
It was saying in the release that this book is like the Red Queen meets the Hunger Games. What exactly does this mean for your series?
It means action, 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 strife, drama, fast pace, but also that dystopian world where the world that the character lives in is not perfect. And so we have a character who has to make a choice on what she's going to do to fix this world, or if she's just going to let it be. And I mean, she's only 16, so it's not necessarily something she has to do, but it might be something internally she has to do in order to live with herself.
And has your series won any awards so far since being released?
The first book, Reborn, won the Moonbeam Children's Book Award, and it was also recognized by Literary Titan. The sequel comes out in 2 weeks, so we'll have to see.
Do you believe you'll receive the same amount of support as you did for the first book that was released for Renew?
I think the fans definitely. I mean, they've been chomping at the bit for 2 years to find, and every time I post a promo or anytime I advertise that it's coming, they're like, now, I want it right now. So I think definitely the fan support is there, and maybe will grow as the series develops and we get more characters and more to this world, more fleshed out.
As you were saying earlier, that this book will be released in 2 weeks. Where all can people go to be able to purchase this book?
So Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, it'll be on Kindle, it'll be in chapters. You'll definitely be able to order it because they're through Amazon. You can go to my website, jennagreene.ca, green with an E on the end. All the regular channels, absolutely.
Perfect. Is there anything else you'd like to add for people to know about concerning your new book?
Just that if they love the first one, the second one gets even better. All the drama, all the excitement, all the stakes kind of ramp up to a whole new level. And also just to thank the fans for really embracing Lexel and Finn and Sierra, the three core characters of this series, and are willing to give the continuation of the story another go.
Well, I'm personally very excited for you for when this book is released. Thank you so much for joining me today, Jenna.
Oh, it was a pleasure. Thank you.